Hey guys, this is Shawn, and today I'm going to bring you some information on bare knuckle boxing, and I'm sure you're going to be interested in this, so stay tuned and watch it for the next segment. Okay, take care. Alright guys, this is Shawn. He's going to help me demonstrate some of the information we're going to talk about today. Alright, so first of all, I want to show you is a boxer's guard versus a bare knuckle fighter's guard. Okay, it's totally different ways of doing it. So Shawn's going to show you the boxer guard. Okay, so typically a boxer's going to have his hands up close to his face and whatever, and I'm not going to do that. Okay, one of the reasons why, because I don't want to get hit in the face, because I'm going to slam his hand right into his face, and his knuckles are going to hit him in the jaw and everything. Okay, and I don't want that to happen to me. Now, that's one thing. The other thing is, like I've told you before, you turn your fist in a diagonal position. When you do that, because he has it in a classic boxer's guard, because we're not wearing boxing gloves, my hands just instantly go right through his guard, easily, without even trying. So if he gets his guard, now if I keep my hands like a typical boxer in a horizontal position, I can't get into his face because my hands are cracking and he's able to hit me and stop me from getting into his face. But if I turn my hands in a diagonal, all of a sudden my hands just start slipping right through his guard. This way. Yeah. So what happens is my hands, it's like a hot knife through butter. It just slips right through his guard. And his hands are so close to his face, I can still hit his face and my hand just slip because of the fact that I have my hand in an angle, diagonal, and it's fitting right in between his guard, which is pretty much in a triangle shaped position. So that's why it's easy for my hands to go through his guard. So be careful about that. What I would rather have you do is he has his hands up again and keeps his hand further away. Now from this position, I can't, all he's got to do is knock my hand down. It's hard for me to get to his guard because he's got both hands away from his face and I can't get in there. I'm trying to get in there and he's just hitting me with his arms and he can counter me really easily. Versus with his hands so close to his face, it's easier for me to strike him. You know? Alright, so now in the next segment I'm going to show you what it looks like with our gloves on, with boxing gloves on. Alright guys, so now what Shawn and I are going to do, the exact same thing, but now with gloves on. Okay, so he's going to have the classic guard, right? And I'm going to try to do my diagonal. I can't get in there. And why is that? Well, because I got these big old sponges on, big old pillows. Alright, doesn't matter which way I try to turn my hand, even vertical, horizontal, diagonal, I still can't get through him because he's got his pillows and I got mine and they don't fit. Okay? So that's why boxers can get away with that, and that's why when you train that way, you get comfortable with that, thinking that that's going to work. But as soon as your gloves come off and his hands go up, all of a sudden it sinks right in there. Okay? So be very careful of that. I guarantee you, you'll be able to get hit so much you wouldn't even realize what happened. You think all your training was for nothing because it's just boxing with gloves is different than fighting with bare knuckles, all right? This is very, very important, and a lot of guys don't get it, but I'm hoping that we showing you this, that you'll understand why it's really important to keep your hands away from your face so that I can't get into his face because it's going to be harder for me, especially when we're going bare knuckle. This is why the bare knuckle fighters always kept their hands in front of their face so they wouldn't get hurt, because it hurts when you get hit with a bare knuckle more than it does with the glove. All right? So that's some of the stuff that me and Shawn wanted to show you. So I hope that information is useful for you and you understand what we're talking about when you're talking about going bare knuckle versus wearing gloves. All right, guys. So that's the end of the video, and hopefully you'll understand some of the information that we talked about today. There is a difference between hitting bare knuckle and hitting with gloves on, and sometimes the way you train is the way you're going to react. So if you train with your hands close to your face, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get hit. And a lot of guys say, well, yeah, but I can protect my face and stuff. Yeah, you can to a point. But like I say, if I turn my hand, if you fight somebody that knows how to use bare knuckles properly, he's going to cut you up and get in that face really easily the way you hold your hands. All right? And even there's other techniques that I would use bare knuckle, like grabbing you with both your arms and cracking you in the face, or knocking down one, chop blocking and hitting with my knuckles, or hitting behind the head and knock you out with my bare knuckles in the back. So there's all kinds of different ways you can do it with bare knuckles that you can't do it with a glove. All right? So until next time, this is Shawn saying, be well, and remember, don't just hit them, punch a hole through them. Take care. Bye.